Sir Abel Tesfaye. May I come inside for a moment? I am certain that this is the first time we have met. But I find myself recognizing that young girl. It is the presence of someone with a terrifyingly immense reputation. Much like a savior of this world. In my previous life, I was a god-tier gamer. Ranging from mainstream RPGs to Otome game series. As long as it was a game, I played it all. But then, one day, I suddenly departed from this world. Because of a lightning strike. By the time I regained my senses, I realized I had been reincarnated in another world. Becoming the fifth son of a noble family. This is a world of power including swordsmanship, martial arts, magic, energy blasts, and much more. At first, I felt extremely bewildered. But no matter which world it is, humans must continue to live. Just like that. I didn't even bother to find out why I had reincarnated, but simply lived in peace for over 10 long years. In a small village, I began a normal life under the stage name Abel Tesfaye. I just never expected that. At the temple in this village, I would encounter that stranger. It wasn't until this very moment that the male lead realized this was the world of an Otome game that he had once played. It was a game based on a storyline for a female audience. And the disheveled girl in front of me was the protagonist of this world. Saint Taylor. She came here to perform a ritual for her deceased mother. And to pray for her soul's release in the temple. Her prayers turned into bright celestial stars. Returning to Mother Earth. And becoming a protection for the people. It was also at this moment that the male lead discovered. It turns out I am just a background character. The fellow Abel who saw through the identity of Saint Taylor in the game. When the blinding light vanished. It was also the time the young girl finished the ceremony. She stood up wobbling, staggering, and said, "Thank you very much, Sir Abel." But at that exact moment, her legs suddenly gave way. Fortunately, when I saw her about to fall, I caught her in time. I looked at what was in my arms. A girl with messy hair, a dirty body. After finishing the prayer ceremony, she looked so fragile. At this point, he became more clearly aware. The so-called saint, it turns out, is just a pitiful girl, incredibly neglected here in Beverly Hills. Right then, the girl opened her eyes and immediately knelt on the ground in fear. She said tremblingly, "I am sorry. I have dared to bother Sir Abel again. Please forgive me." The girl apologized while shaking uncontrollably. But to her surprise, I gently said, "There is no need to do that. This is the goddess's house. The very place where we should lend a helping hand to one another. If possible, would you like to rest here for a while? Shall we go inside for a cup of tea?" This made the girl stunned. She hurriedly replied, But my appearance is not very presentable. Since I don't have the means to wash, my body is very dirty." However, I didn't mind those things at all. He asked, instead of worrying about that, "Do you like apple pie?" In another development, she was devouring the piece of apple pie in her hand. Looking at that sight, she must have been tightening her belt for a very long time. The Otome game titled At the Edge of the Radiant Pink tells the story of Saint Taylor saving the world, while simultaneously developing feelings for many male leads. Yet, those stories of the throne have not yet arrived. In her hometown, Taylor was abused by her father, falling into an extremely terrible situation. As a compassionate Abel, what he needed to do was meet Taylor here, then see her off to New York City as the saint. But according to the game's plot, in New York City, she would have to endure even more cruel treatment. Under the title of Saint, this caused the male lead to have a doubt. Is it really good to send her to New York City like this? Right then, the girl who was eating hungrily suddenly exclaimed, "Sir Abel, this is so delicious. This is truly wonderful." The innocent and lovely appearance of Taylor made the male lead even more determined. That's right. I know all too well that her future fate will not be pleasant at all. If I still send this girl away like that, wouldn't I be a complete scumbag? Since it has come to this, what I need to do is... Sir Abel? Oh, it's nothing. But speaking of which, there is still some apple pie inside. Would you like to eat a little more? These words made the young girl overjoyed. She hurriedly replied, "Yes, please. By the way, I haven't asked your name yet. What is your name?" "My name is Taylor." "Miss Taylor, is it? May I call you Taylor?" "Yes, that is not a problem at all." The male lead informed her that he is Abel Tesfaye, who just took office here this month, also known as Overlord. Even though saying this is a bit sudden. Would you like to work at this temple? The question made the girl freeze. The male lead continued, "I just saw your prayer, and I believe you have the qualities to become a divine official. So, would you like to work here as an apprentice, while being taught the great holy secrets?" His intention was very clear. He wanted Taylor to be protected by him personally. He had to keep her here immediately, to escape her father's abuse, and at the same time, teach her the great holy secrets for self-defense. Let her have the ability to protect herself. He thought that doing so, for Taylor at the present moment, was the best choice. Hearing that, Taylor was extremely excited. "Is that really okay? To let someone like me stay here?" In response to those words, the male lead leaned down, took her hand, and said, "We need you. Could you please stay here?" The girl was stunned for a moment, then gave a soft, "Yes," and threw herself into the male lead's arms, sobbing. It was a scene so healing that it made the statue of the goddess behind them seem to smile. Since he had taken the girl in, the first thing to do was to give her a bath. The girl was a bit shy. I have never taken a bath before. Because people like me, if we even step into a bathroom, we will be punished. So I think, if you could just let me borrow that water well over there, I can use the water there to wash my body. How could that be okay? It's very cold at night during this season." A situation that made the male lead feel a bit awkward. He wanted Taylor to bathe first. But if she had never bathed before, and he let her go in there alone, he really wouldn't feel at ease at all. Is there any way to solve this problem? At this moment, an image of himself bathing with Taylor suddenly flashed through the male lead's mind. No. This thought is not okay at all. It feels like there's a scent of committing a crime around here. But what about Taylor? Her thoughts were clearly identical to the male lead's. The girl shyly grabbed the hem of her shirt and said, "Sir Abel, if you could bathe with me, then I will bathe." The male lead froze. Getting into the bathtub together is indeed a bit. These words dealt a great blow to Taylor. She immediately lay face down on the ground in shame. I'm sorry. Because I am so dirty like this. Surely you don't want to bathe with me, right? I am truly, deeply sorry. Hey, that's not it. It's nothing like that. Finally, reluctantly, the male lead had to agree. Then let's bathe together. I will teach you how to bathe. And so, with a serious face, the male lead led the young girl into the bathroom. When Taylor took off her clothes, it was also at this moment that he noticed countless whip scars left on her back. The male lead's expression shifted. He whispered softly, "You have endured so much, haven't you?" and immediately cast a healing spell. The wounds closed rapidly, and fortunately, not a single scar remained. Taylor felt utterly astonished. Sir Abel, the wounds on my body are gone. The injuries on her back used to cause her constant, unbearable pain. But now her body felt incredibly light. To a young girl so accustomed to suffering, this felt strange. She asked, Have I become weird? The male lead replied, Not at all. This is what is normal. Treating pain as a given. That is what is truly weird. Come here. Sit over here. I will help you wash. The male lead poured warm water over the girl's body, causing Taylor to wear a look of pure bliss. Is it too hot for you? The girl replied, No, sir. It's perfect. It feels so wonderful. She felt her body becoming warm. It was so soothing. She asked, Is this also your power, Sir Abel? Ha ha. It's nothing like that. This is simply the power of hot water. Finally, the washing was done. Looking at herself in the mirror, she looked like a different person. The girl could not believe her eyes. Is this really me? Of course. This is the true appearance of Taylor. You are very lovely. His words made her small face turn bright red, and she immediately splashed back into the tub. Looking at her, it was clear she was so happy she couldn't contain herself. That night, the two of them ended up sleeping together. Although the male lead had anticipated this situation, regardless, he thought that tomorrow he must definitely teach her. No matter how kind someone is, she must never let her guard down enough to sleep next to a man she just met for the first time like this. At that moment, the girl suddenly talked in her sleep. Her pained expression showed she was having a nightmare. Hearing her moan, Please don't leave me alone, the male lead leaned close to her ear and comforted her. It's okay. I will stay by your side. As he spoke, he cast soul healing on her, causing her features to relax significantly. The male lead stroked her head and thought, It's all right now. After going through such suffering, you will surely be rewarded. Perhaps the path you've walked was as painful as stepping on thorns. But it's fine now. You won't have to go through those things anymore. He thought. From now on, she only needs to live slowly, gathering little bits of happiness from everyday things, enjoying delicious food, soaking in a warm bath, letting all worries fly away with the wind and falling peacefully into sleep. This is the life a child should have. He secretly promised. You will definitely find happiness, becoming a girl that anyone would admire. Then one day you will leave me, falling in love with your destined person. So for now, just sleep peacefully. I will surely help you have a life like that. It was an end to the hellish days of extreme agony. Being locked in a storage room with cold winds whistling through the door cracks. Every day, only a piece of dry bread and a bowl of thin, cold soup. Being forced to do endless heavy labor, and being brutally beaten without any reason. Hurry up and sweep it clean. What are you crying for? You useless thing. Those months and years that felt like hell on earth, that felt like they would last forever, actually vanished like mist thanks to those gentle words. It's okay. The face of the male lead appeared before her eyes. He said, It's all right. I will be by your side. That warmth, like the sun, allowed Taylor to slowly find her peace again. By the time she opened her eyes once more, she found herself lying next to him. Her body was no longer filthy as usual, and the space around her was so quiet and comfortable. She turned to look at the male lead who was fast asleep, then immediately burrowed into the blanket, crawling over him. Taylor curiously gazed at the sleeping face of this man. The male lead's expression changed. He softly said, You've had to endure a lot, haven't you? Then immediately cast a healing spell. The wounds healed rapidly. Fortunately, they didn't leave any scars behind. Taylor felt utterly astonished. Sir Abel, the wounds on my body have disappeared. The wounds on her back used to cause her constant, unbearable pain. But now her body had become incredibly light. This made the young girl, who was so used to pain, feel quite strange. She asked, Have I become weird? The male lead replied, Not at all. This is what is normal. Viewing pain as a given. That is what's truly weird. Come here. Sit over here. I will help you wash up. The male lead poured warm water over the girl, causing Taylor to show a look of pure bliss. Does it feel too hot? The young girl replied, No. It's just right, it's very comfortable. She felt her body becoming warm. It was so pleasant. She asked, Is this also your power, Sir Abel? Ha ha. It's nothing like that. This is the power of hot water. Finally, the bathing was finished. Looking at herself in the mirror, looking completely different, the girl couldn't believe her eyes. Is this really me? Of course. This is Taylor's true appearance. It's very lovely. The male lead's words made her small face turn bright red, and she immediately splashed back into the tub. Looking at her, it was clear she was so happy she couldn't contain herself. That night, the two of them ended up sleeping together. Although the male lead had anticipated this situation, regardless, he thought that tomorrow he must definitely teach her. No matter how gentle the other person is, she must not let her guard down enough to sleep with a man she just met for the first time like this. At that moment, the girl suddenly talked in her sleep. Her pained expression showed she was clearly having a nightmare. Hearing the girl moan, Don't leave me alone, the male lead leaned close to her ear and comforted her. It's okay. I will stay by your side. With those words, he cast soul healing on her, causing her features to relax significantly. The male lead stroked her head and thought, It's all right now. After going through such suffering, you will surely receive your reward. Perhaps the path you've walked was as painful as stepping on sharp thorns. But it's fine now. You won't have to go through those things anymore. He thought. From now on, she only needs to live slowly, gathering little bits of small happiness in everyday tasks, enjoying delicious food, soaking in a warm bathtub, letting all worries fly away with the wind and falling peacefully into sleep. This is the life a child should have. He secretly promised. You will definitely find happiness, becoming a girl that anyone would admire. Then one day you will leave me, falling in love with your destined person. So for now, just sleep peacefully. I will surely help you have a life like that. That was an ending to the hellish days of extreme agony. Being locked in a storage room with cold winds whistling through the door cracks. Every day, only a piece of dry bread and a bowl of thin, cold soup. Being forced to do endless heavy labor and being brutally beaten without any reason. Hurry up and sweep it clean. What are you crying for? You useless thing. Those days that felt like hell on earth, that felt like they would last forever, actually vanished like mist thanks to those gentle comforts. It's okay. The face of the male lead appeared before her eyes. He said, It's all right. I will stay by your side. That warmth, like sunlight, allowed Taylor to slowly regain her peace. By the time she opened her eyes again, she found herself lying next to him. Her body was no longer filthy as usual, and the space around her was so quiet and comfortable. She turned to look at the male lead who was fast asleep, then immediately burrowed into the blanket, crawling over him. Taylor curiously gazed at the sleeping face of this man. Memories of the morning's events couldn't help but rush back. She thought to herself, Sir Abel's Body is so warm. It was at this very moment that a strange new emotion toward the male lead began to sprout within her heart. The way the young girl addressed him changed as well, shifting from Sir Abel to Overlord. At this point, the initial pure affection began to transform slightly. And so, until the next morning, the male lead opened his eyes to find Taylor lying on top of him. He jumped, his whole body trembling, and it took a long moment to regain his composure. "Oh, it turns out I adopted this girl yesterday." For a split second, he thought he had just committed some kind of heinous crime. Saint Taylor is the protagonist of this world. Currently, although she is young, one day, she will grow into a world-saving saint and begin romances with a series of handsome men. Even though he knew that for a guy named Abel, to protect her was a bit arrogant, he didn't regret it at all. What he needed to do now was to raise the small, fragile Taylor until she reached adulthood. His responsibility was to protect her until she stepped into the academy, the main stage of the game. While the male lead was lost in thought, Taylor shifted beside him. "Oh, Taylor. Are you awake? It's morning." The girl sleepily rubbed her eyes. "Overlord. That's right. I am Overlord." Taylor said, "Good morning," in a hesitant tone. Seeing the male lead respond, she stared at him for a few seconds, then broke into a smile and lunged forward to hug him. This adorable sight made the male lead's face turn bright red. He immediately looked away, thinking to himself, "This is too much to handle. Luckily I'm not a lolicon. Otherwise, I'd be finished. Ha ha. Now Taylor, it's time to change clothes. But come to think of it, there don't seem to be any women's clothes in my house." Regarding this problem, the girl said, "I can just wear this shirt of yours, Lord Overlord." As she spoke, she lowered her head to sniff the scent of the shirt. "It smells like Lord Overlord. It makes me feel very safe." I see." The male lead was determined to go buy clothes soon. Otherwise, with this suspicious appearance, he couldn't take her out to meet anyone. "Well then, I will be back by noon. In the meantime, just relax at home, okay?" "Yes, sir. I wish you a safe journey." Taylor said goodbye to the male lead with a slightly sad look. Though he felt a bit guilty leaving her home alone, it was something he had to do, because the place he was going was a bit special. This town is called Las Vegas, the hometown of Taylor, and also where he was currently residing. It is located in the east of the California Kingdom, a remote town 7 days' walk from the capital. And located in the center of town is the Tsukiji Trading Guild, where Taylor's father does business. "Oh my, isn't this Lord Overlord? Thank you so much for visiting." This man was Taylor's father, possessing a face even more aggravating than his illustration in the game. The reason the male lead came here today was also because of Taylor. "You're talking about Taylor? That low-blooded girl has truly bothered you. That girl inherited bad habits from her mother, constantly causing no small amount of trouble. Even though I have strictly disciplined her, she still learns nothing. As expected, a bad background just won't do." These words made the male lead extremely furious. What a piece of trash. But luckily, he knew very well that this man was committing illegal acts for personal gain. Although now wasn't the time. Sooner or later, he would make him pay the price. Suppressing his anger, the male lead said, "Actually, regarding Miss Taylor, we have noticed she has the talent to study and develop divine arts. Could our temple adopt her?" "Oh, is that so? Although I would have to sell her off sooner or later. Asking me to hand over my daughter is actually a bit difficult to accept." So the male lead immediately used his gold element superpower, money, This shocked the other man. Such a large amount of money. This was the entire life savings that the male lead had brought from his noble family. However, compared to Taylor, this amount of money was nothing. That sum of money was actually not worth much at all. And that merchant naturally had no reason to refuse such a profitable deal. However, before leaving, he didn't forget to drop one cold-blooded remark. "Well, Sir Abel, your taste is quite salty, isn't it? I never expected you to like the kind of girl who is just skin and bones like that. Clearly, with this much money, you could easily find a much more cheerful and satisfying romantic companion." The male lead remained silent and did not reply. But in his heart, he thought to himself, I will definitely throw you in prison. Just wait for your end. You piece of trash. And so, the male lead returned to the temple. "I'm home. Welcome back, Lord Overlord." Taylor was diligently cleaning, which made the male lead a bit worried. "You don't need to do these things." Perhaps because his tone was a bit rushed, it caused the young girl to misunderstand that he was angry. She replied awkwardly, I just wanted to lend a hand. I'm truly sorry for taking it upon myself to do these things." Seeing this, the male lead quickly stroked her head to comfort her. "I'm not angry. Thank you for helping me clean up." Those words immediately made the girl happy again. He had only intended to comfort her. The temple looks quite beautiful now that Taylor has cleaned it. But what he didn't expect was, this place wasn't just beautiful. It was beautiful to an overwhelming degree. The entire temple seemed to be radiating a sparkling aura. An architecture that originally had 50 years of history now looked as if it had just been completely rebuilt, instantly filled with a solemn and divine atmosphere. "Is this the power of the saint?" the male lead asked curiously. "Taylor, what did you do here?" the innocent girl replied. "I just cleaned normally. Could it be I did something wrong?" "Oh no, no. The temple being this clean makes me very happy. It's so clean that it actually gave me a start." Seeing that reaction, Taylor gave a healing smile. "That's wonderful. Making Lord Overlord happy makes me very happy too." Seeing the girl smile so radiantly, the male lead thought to himself that it was fine. After all, a clean temple wasn't a bad thing. It's just that in the game, when Taylor cleaned, no such strange phenomenon ever occurred. But if it made her happy, then perhaps it didn't matter anymore. After lunch, "Well then, Lord Overlord, please do your best with work this afternoon. I will stay home and do a good job cleaning." "All right. But do only what you can and make sure to rest. I'm heading out to the main hall. I will have dinner ready. Good luck." After saying goodbye to the girl, the male lead opened the temple gates. At this time, a large crowd of devoted villagers had gathered at the door. As soon as they stepped into the sanctuary, everyone felt the air today was unusually pure. Not only were their spirits refreshed, but even their back pain and neck stiffness seemed to vanish. While the male lead was still marveling at the power of the saint, a group of adventurers rushed in, bringing an injured companion. This person was critically cursed by a magical beast in the forest. If not treated immediately, it would be life-threatening. Relying only on his own strength, he might not be able to handle it in time. So the male lead hurriedly opened the back door, thinking that perhaps at this moment, he had to borrow some luck from the saint. Scene shifts to Taylor's location. The noise echoing from the temple made the girl worried. Did something happen? Taylor intended to run and check the situation, but she thought that if she went, she might bother Lord Overlord. So the little girl was filled with determination again. In short, I must stay alert and do my part well. I believe that if it's Lord Overlord, there will absolutely be no problem, because he is such a wonderful able. After all, the girl's head was full of images of the male lead, as she happily polished the glass. At the same time, a flash of holy light flared up. The perspective shifts back to the male lead. Sir Abel, please help my friend. In this critical situation, he had no choice but to take a risk and try. However, at the very moment he was channeling his healing energy, a massive source of superpower surged from his palms. Before the male lead could even react, the wound had, indeed, completely vanished. Incredible. This is truly a miracle. An injury so severe, yet it didn't even leave a single scar. Witnessing this, the old farmers standing nearby couldn't hold back their tears. This is truly a divine being descended to earth. A healing spell this powerful. I haven't even seen the likes of it. At the great cathedral in New York City, everyone cheered and hailed the male lead. But he was the only one who felt utterly strange. What exactly had happened? He clearly knew. He couldn't possibly possess such immense power. It felt as if he had been personally blessed by the goddess. Wait a minute. A goddess's protection? Right at this moment, it suddenly dawned on him. Could it be that this is also an effect from Taylor's cleaning? Because this place was scrubbed by Taylor, it received the protection of the goddess, which happened to buff a powerful effect onto his divine arts. At this point, the male lead understood everything. He thought that if it involved Taylor, everything could be explained. After all, she is the saint. It's just, even for a child, to possess such terrifying power. Well, he had never heard of such a thing. Meanwhile, Taylor was still happily wiping the windows. And then, it was time for dinner. I'm home. Taylor, the male lead, arrived home to find the young girl humming a tune, happily preparing dinner for him. He stepped closer. That smells wonderful. Are you making a stew? Ah, Lord Overlord. Welcome home. Taylor brought out a bowl of stew that looked incredibly appetizing. I hope this suits your taste. Please, enjoy. Well then. Thanks to the goddess. And thanks to Taylor. I'm digging in. The male lead took a bite and was instantly astonished. A rich flavor spread across his tongue. The sweetness of the vegetables blending with the savory richness of the beef, accompanied by spices that stimulated the palate. The layers of flavor were combined with extreme sophistication. The male lead couldn't believe this was a stew cooked by a teenage girl. Furthermore, where did all these spices and beef come from? He asked curiously. Taylor, where did you get these ingredients? The girl replied, I just used the ingredients available on the table. Is that not okay? Oh no, no. It's nothing. Those were for cooking dinner. There's no problem at all. But in his heart, he felt very strange. He clearly remembered only buying vegetables. So where did the seasoning and beef come from? Right then, the male lead noticed spheres of light hovering behind Taylor's back. He caught them red-handed. Could it be that these are the legendary holy spirits? They are the messengers of the goddess, otherwise known as angels on earth, who usually only appear before divine officials who are masters of both word and sword, with saintly virtues. The girl found his gaze odd and asked, Is there something around me? Taylor turned her head, but the holy spirits quickly darted to the other side. There's clearly nothing there, Lord Overlord. While the girl was wondering, the holy spirits gathered together and manifested a Fresh fish. This sight made the male lead freeze. Did a carp just appear out of thin air? Overlord? Ah. It's nothing. It's nothing at all. That scene helped the male lead understand. These holy spirits didn't seem to intend to show themselves to Taylor, but only wanted to silently protect her and bring her things of profound value and goodness. However, in the game, there was absolutely no such plot point. Since adopting Taylor, everything around him had begun to change like a whirlwind. The temple was renewed. His divine arts became superpowered. And now there were holy spirits by her side. In just one day, so many miracles had occurred. The male lead wondered to himself. Could it be that he had done something powerful enough to change the entire world? He kept staring at Taylor, which made the young girl worried. Overlord, what is wrong? Did Taylor do something wrong again? Oh, no, no, no. Taylor, you didn't do anything wrong at all. It's just that your stew is so delicious. It reminded me of a childhood memory. Hearing that, the young girl smiled radiantly. That's wonderful. Then I will cook for you every single day. Her healing smile caused the male lead to cast away all his worries. He thought that as long as Taylor felt content with the present, then everything would surely be all right. The girl then asked, "What shall we eat tomorrow morning? Since we had beef today, how about fish tomorrow?" As soon as she finished speaking, the male lead saw fresh fish pouring out incessantly from the holy spirits. Because the quantity was so large, he couldn't help but feel anxious. All this meat and fish. The holy spirits didn't just go and snatch it from somewhere, did they? But since they are angels, they probably wouldn't do something like that. Just like that, time passed until the next day. The male lead said, "Taylor, today let's go out to eat together." The girl was incredibly happy. "Is that really okay? To go out with you?" "Of course. I'm sorry for keeping you inside the house for so long." After a few days of rest, Taylor had become extremely healthy. Both her spirit and her physique had recovered to a very high degree. Recovering so quickly in such a short time, the male lead thought to himself, "Is this the power of the saint? Our house is still missing many things. Let's go shopping together." "Yes, sir. Lord Overlord." And so, the two of them went down to the streets together. Looking at the bustling marketplace, the young girl was extremely excited. "Walk slowly, Taylor. Otherwise you'll get lost." Just then, they noticed a father and daughter ahead of them. The child held her father's hand. "Daddy, what is that over there?" "Walk slowly, sweetie, or you'll get lost." Witnessing that scene, Taylor quietly shifted her gaze toward the male lead's hand. Seeing this, he was perceptive enough to reach out his hand and say, "Does Taylor want to hold hands? Just so you don't get lost." The girl was stunned for a few seconds, then immediately rushed forward with joy to take his hand. "Yes, sir." This action pushed Taylor's affection for him higher than ever before. The girl's cheeks turned a soft pink, showing clear and unspeakable happiness. So the two of them continued to hold hands, strolling together along the main street. Taylor hummed a melody and then asked the male lead, "Overlord, what are we going to buy next?" The male lead smiled and replied, "To thank Taylor for always keeping the house sparkling clean, and for cooking such wonderful meals for me, I have prepared a surprise for you." Saying this, they stopped in front of a shop. That's right. It was time to choose some truly adorable clothes for Taylor. Stepping into the fashion boutique, seeing the countless diverse designs, the girl couldn't help but exclaim, "Amazing! So many beautiful clothes." Taylor was extremely excited. "Overlord, Lord Overlord, may I take a look?" "Of course you can." Looking at the girl's joyful expression, the male lead felt very heartened. He realized that all girls would indeed be attracted to such cute things. Even though he had just picked a shop at random. Luckily the clothes here were all very nice. It seemed he had come to the right place. Right then, a voice rang out from behind. "Welcome." Turning to look, it was a muscular man dressed in a rather flamboyant style. My, isn't this the new Abel? It is such an honor to have you visit my shop. The male lead was slightly startled. The shop owner continued. "So, is Sir Abel here to shop today? If you don't mind, I can personally help you. Select the most adorable outfits." The male lead quickly waved his hands. "Oh, that won't be necessary. This time, I've mainly come wanting to pick out a few outfits for this little girl." "Oh, what a darling girl. Now, little one, is there any particular style you like? All the clothes here are designed by my own hands." You know. This statement made the male lead pause. "Designed by you?" The shop owner nodded in confirmation. He shared that his dream was to see his designs worn by cute girls. Therefore, having a girl with such God-given beauty as Taylor visit made him incredibly happy. The male lead said. Then regarding this girl's attire, "Could you please help me?" The burly man immediately replied. "With pleasure. I am truly honored. First off, how about this linen dress with lace accents? The design is very lovely, isn't it? Or this hooded coat with bunny ears is also great. Suitable for both staying in or going out. And here is a dynamic set for running and jumping easily. Switching to a slightly cool style is also a very solid choice." The shop owner picked out many outfits. He marveled that because the model had such a perfect physique, she looked beautiful in whatever she wore. The male lead also nodded in complete agreement. Taylor put on a new outfit and asked him a bit anxiously. "Overlord, what do you think of this one?" Let me see. It's very adorable. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised." Those words immediately made the young girl's face turn red with shyness. "Really? I'm so happy." Saying that, she skipped away to look at another set. The shop owner watched her go, exclaiming, "Such a pure-hearted girl. I never expected that in this tiny little town there would be such a stunning beauty." The male lead explained. "She is an apprentice nun under the temple's care, having only recently started her training here." "Is that so? To have to work so hard at such a young age?" Given that sympathy, the male lead revealed his hidden worry. "Because her father is not a respectable man, even though we say she is training. In reality, it's also to protect her. So that's how it is." During the conversation, Taylor ran back to the male lead holding another outfit. "Overlord. Lord Overlord. I want to try this one too." While the girl went to change, the shop owner leaned close to the male lead's ear and whispered, "Sir Abel, please, you must consider the future of that child. Let her live a life happier than anyone else. From my personal perspective, letting a girl like this end her whole life as a mere nun here would be a tragedy." The male lead naturally understood this well. After all, she was the saint. Though he was a bit reluctant to let go. He knew she would eventually have to leave his side. At this moment, Taylor finished changing, stepping forward bashfully. When she heard the male lead praise her, "Taylor looks both mature and quite charming, doesn't she?" The girl smiled as radiantly as a blooming flower. The male lead silently made a vow. He would definitely make Taylor the happiest protagonist in the world. No matter how many obstacles lay ahead, he would have no regrets. After finishing the shopping, the two of them walked down the street together. Everyone around showed looks of amazement. Wow! Who is that? That girl is just too cute. Clad in her new clothes. Taylor's aura as a saint was immediately and clearly revealed. This made the girl a bit shy. But to the male lead, this was perfectly normal. Because Taylor was already beautiful to begin with. With just a little bit of grooming, she would naturally capture every gaze. The girl, feeling bashful, asked the male lead in a low voice. Is it really okay like this? You've bought me so many beautiful clothes. The male lead smiled and replied. Of course it's fine. All of these clothes suit Taylor perfectly. After all. Seeing that, Taylor, feeling a bit confused, lifted her skirt. The innocent girl said, "It's okay if we don't buy that underwear thing. Since it's not in a place where anyone can see. Not wearing it actually isn't a problem at all." This statement made the male lead break out in a cold sweat. He immediately blocked the view in front of Taylor and pleaded, "I beg of you. Please, definitely let me buy them for you." Next was a stop at the general store. The male lead wanted to buy some necessary daily items for Taylor. "If there's anything you want, just tell me." Although the young girl kept saying, "It's okay. This is more than enough." While the male lead was busy picking out handbags, stationery, and handkerchiefs, Taylor still couldn't help but be drawn to a teddy bear on the side. The girl just stood there, staring intently at it. Seeing this, the male lead picked up the bear and said, "Then let's buy this too." The girl hurriedly declined. "No need. There's no need at all. It's not like I like it that much." The male lead replied in a gentle voice. "Don't be modest. I'm buying it because it's a necessity." He knelt on one knee in front of the girl and said, "Listen, Taylor. Teddy bears are the guardian spirits of children. When something bad happens, it will take the blow for you. And it even eats up all the nightmares. That's why families with children usually always buy a teddy bear." Hearing that, the young girl exclaimed, "I understand now." Then joyfully hugged the bear tightly. "So, after buying this, shall we head home? Is there anything else you want?" "No, that's all. Nothing else is needed." The two of them continued holding hands on the way home. Suddenly, a voice called out to the male lead. "Hello, Sir Abel. That little girl is." Turning around to look, it was a woman with a kind, gentle appearance. "Hello, Lisa. This child is Taylor. The one the temple has been caring for recently." Since the male lead wasn't very well versed in the psychology of girls, Lisa offered, "If there is anything in the future that you aren't sure about, Sir Abel, feel free to ask me." "In that case, how about right now?" Lisa suggested. "How about I give the girl a haircut? Adjusting her hairstyle a bit will make her even more adorable. What do you think, Taylor? You want to become even more adorable, right?" Hearing that, the girl immediately poked her head out from behind the male lead and firmly replied, "I want to become even more adorable." Her determined look made Lisa burst out laughing. "All right. Just leave it to me. The haircut will take about 30 minutes. Sir Abel, please wait for a moment." So the male lead stood waiting at the door. He was thinking about what to do next. While he waited, and just then, he noticed someone leaning against a tree root behind him. That person glanced over here and gave a greeting. "Hello there, Overlord. Going on a date with such a cute girl today, are we? What kind of scheme are you up to? You, delinquent, Sir Abel?" This man's name is Jack Harlow. It seems like something is about to happen. "Hello, Overlord. I've heard rumors around here that a delinquent Abel is taking a cute girl on a random stroll. Do you have any clues about this?" Jack Harlow's teasing face made the male lead feel quite helpless. Stop making fun of me, Jack. No, no, no. How can you call it making fun? I am a military policeman maintaining law and order. I can't just let perverts like this run wild, can I? HMPH. You sure talk big. You delinquent MP. This man is the captain of the town's military police. And also the male lead's best friend since their student days. Being able to work in the same town like this is truly a stroke of fate. But I didn't expect the rumors to be true. My old friend Overlord. Are you really dragging a little girl around? Both of them looked toward Taylor inside the house. Jack remarked. Is that the girl? She really is adorable. Come to think of it. Isn't she the daughter from the Tsukiji household? I heard she was being mistreated? The male lead replied. That's right. When I first brought her home, the situation was truly dire. In response to that answer, Jack looked at the male lead with a meaningful glint in his eyes. It seems, the Abel who spent a fortune to buy a girl and bring her home is actually quite the gentle soul, isn't he? Hey, don't look at me with those eyes. The male lead affirmed that Taylor needed protection. And no matter how much money it cost, it was worth it. Furthermore, the girl possessed a natural talent for learning divine arts. While they were at it, the male lead had a favor to ask. He wanted Jack to investigate Taylor's family, namely, the Tsukiji Trading Guild. Jack was a bit puzzled. What do you mean? Even if we suspect child abuse, the military police won't deploy just for that reason. The male lead replied. It's not about the abuse. It's about the trafficking of illegal substances. Illegal substances? Precisely. The male lead spoke with absolute certainty. It was just that he didn't have the evidence in hand yet. This attitude left Jack a bit astonished. How can you be so confident? The male lead's answer, naturally, was, of course I am. In short, if you investigate, you will definitely find clues. He thought to himself. Even though he had obtained legal guardianship from that scumbag, the connection between Taylor and the Tsukiji Trading Guild needed to be severed once and for all. The male lead absolutely refused to let that man go. The crime of abusing Taylor could never be erased. He was determined to make him spend the rest of his life in a dark prison cell. Back to Taylor's side. So, what kind of hairstyle would Taylor like? The young girl immediately replied. I want whichever style makes Lord Overlord happy. As long as Lord Overlord thinks it's cute, then that is the most beautiful hairstyle. This left Lisa feeling a bit helpless. Oh my. If it's Sir Abel, he'll praise you no matter what hairstyle you choose. It seems Miss Taylor really likes him, doesn't she? The girl's face turned bright red, and she began to stammer. I wouldn't dare. How could someone like me dare to like Lord Overlord? Despite saying that, in her heart, the little girl was still filled with anticipation. If I could become just a bit more adorable, maybe I would be more worthy of standing beside Lord Overlord. However, what she didn't expect was that after the haircut was finished, Lisa suddenly collapsed to her knees and began to pray, muttering under her breath. The girl was bewildered. Lisa, are you okay? It was only then that Lisa snapped out of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's just that I'm a person of faith. And seeing Taylor after her hair was done, looking so saintly, I couldn't help but start praying. She truly never expected that the disheveled girl from before could become like this. This level of cuteness had truly surpassed human boundaries. Taylor didn't quite understand what she was saying, but she only cared about one thing. So, like this, will Lord Overlord be happy? Lisa affirmed. Most certainly, my dear Taylor. I bet Sir Abel will be driven absolutely crazy with joy. Hearing that, Taylor happily replied, "That's wonderful, I'm so glad." That adorable sight was so blinding that Lisa could hardly keep her eyes open. After saying goodbye to Taylor, she couldn't help but worry for the male lead. Sir Abel is certainly going to have a difficult time from now on. As for Taylor, the little girl kept chanting to herself, "Make Lord Overlord happy. Make Lord Overlord happy." She stepped out the door, running quickly toward the male lead who was waiting, calling out loudly, "Overlord." The male lead turned his head, about to say, "Ah, is Taylor done with her haircut?" But when he saw her clearly, he froze completely. Her appearance now was exactly like a little angel. Could simply trimming that messy hair produce such an incredible effect? Watching Taylor smile and say, "Overlord, I'm back," the male lead couldn't believe his eyes. The girl blushed and asked softly, "Sir, what do you think?" At this moment, the male lead was speechless. His face flushed red, and it took a long time before he could stammer out, It suits you very well. I almost didn't recognize you." Seeing his reaction, Taylor became even more overjoyed. "Thank you. I am truly so happy." That aura of holiness and cuteness made the male lead shyly look away. "This time, it's undeniable evidence that I've fallen for this little lady." Taylor giggled, walking with a joyful, rhythmic skip in her step. The holy spirits watching from behind whispered among themselves, "Taylor is smiling. She's smiling so bright. She looks truly happy." Then, they reached a conclusion. "We must bless her. It is impossible not to bestow a blessing." As soon as the words were spoken, a giant halo appeared behind the young girl's back. Holy specks of light continuously manifested around her, and even the clouds in the sky began to disperse and encircle the ring of light. This scene left both his friend Jack Harlow and the male lead utterly speechless. Taylor's adorable smile combined with the radiant halo exuded a sense of infinite divinity. Except for the male lead, who was breaking into a cold sweat for fear of drawing too much attention. The people around all fell to their knees, thinking it was a manifestation of the goddess herself. And so, on that impressive dark night, the male lead led Taylor home by the hand. After a moment of blushing, he decided he had to discuss something with her. "Taylor, I think from today onward, it would be better if we slept separately." "I refuse." "But," I said, "I refuse." "All right, fine." Meanwhile, in another place. "What? That girl Taylor has already blossomed and become a beautiful young lady?" The henchman reported. "Yes, sir. That guy Abel was with her. There is no mistaking it. That beauty is truly unbelievable." The fat father revealed a sinister expression. "HMPH. Is that so? As I thought. Selling her for that price back then was a bit of a loss." "Fine. If this news is true, I will spend a bit more money to buy her back. Regardless, there will be a way. Don't think you can escape from my hands, Taylor." As for the male lead, the two were embracing each other, sleeping very soundly.